Hi, my name is Dr. Assael Romanelli,
And I'm Galit Romanelli.
and we're a couple of experts from our ritual.
We will explore the art of self-regulation and co-regulation.
Or in other words, how to manage our buttons. We are complex people. We all have buttons. Buttons are our trigger points. The term "you push my button" is the idea that something inside of us has been triggered, moved, or activated by something or someone external to us. Our buttons are part of our subjective makeup. Understanding and becoming familiar with our buttons allows us to manage them rather than to be activated by them.
Before we discuss what happens when our buttons are pressed, let's take a step back and understand our brain when our buttons are not pressed. When we're regulated, it means our brain is in balance. We feel calm, we feel present, and able to think clearly. It doesn't mean we don't feel emotions. It just means we're in control of them rather than them controlling us. In this state, our prefrontal cortex, our thinking brain, is fully online. This part of the brain helps us make good decisions, see the bigger picture, take perspective, communicate clearly and maturely, stay calm under pressure, be empathic and open, helps us manage impulses and emotions. When we're regulated, the amygdala, our emotional alarm system, is quiet. So we don't feel like we're in danger. Our nervous system is in a rest and digest state, meaning our heart rate is steady, our breathing is slow and deep, our muscles are relaxed, our body isn't flooded with stress hormones. This is why when we're in a regulated state, we can listen better, we can problem solve, and we can connect with each other more deeply. It's also when we feel most playful, curious, and loving, because our brain isn't in survival mode. It has the freedom to be creative and engaged. For example, right now, we're talking to you. I'm aware of myself, the camera, the people in the studio. I'm aware of what I'm saying, and I can take a moment to reflect, choose my words, and have an awareness of my body. I have access to my play and curiosity.
Let's take a closer look at what happens in our bodies when our buttons are activated.
So think of a moment where you get really flooded. I can remember back when I was studying my PhD and I would come home and I would have a full day of studies from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and I would walk in the door expecting, to at least have something to eat prepared or the kids would be ready for bed. And no, I would walk in, the kitchen would be a mess, dirty dishes everywhere. The kids were nowhere near ready for bed. The living room full of toys and the TV on, the bath running. So I would walk in and just be completely overwhelmed. And then I would lose it.
What Galit just described is the amygdala in overdrive. The amygdala is the brain's alarm system. It's responsible for detecting threats, processing emotions, especially fear and anger, and triggering our fight, flight, freeze, or fawn responses. In other words, our survival mode. When our buttons get pushed, we feel high emotions that sound the alarm and trigger us into survival mode. Our buttons were formed throughout our childhood and adulthood. Some of them we inherited unconsciously from our parents, while others we developed from scary or traumatic experiences. Buttons are often formed around unhealed wounds, a pain that hasn't been tended to. You know that moment when you're in a heated argument and suddenly you say or do something you regret? It's like your brain just snapped and you're no longer thinking clearly. In moments of intense stress or emotional triggers, our rational brain shuts down and our survival brain takes over. Dan Siegel describes this as upstairs brain, which is our prefrontal cortex, and downstairs brain, which is our amygdala. So when we're regulated, our upstairs brain and downstairs brains work together. But when we snap, when our buttons push us, we lose our upstairs brain and we're only left with our survival amygdala downstairs brain. So when your brain thinks you're in danger and goes into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode, you will start reacting instinctively, not thoughtfully. Your heart races, your body tenses up, and suddenly you're just trying to survive the moment rather than communicating calmly and effectively. That's why you might lash out, shut down, say or do things you don't mean, because your logical brain is temporarily offline.
So it's this feeling of like you walk in the house and you're just flooded. You can't even see straight. You feel your heart racing. You feel hot. Sometimes I feel like I get tunnel vision and I feel completely overwhelmed. These reactions are an indication that your button has been pressed. And while this may be unpleasant, buttons have the potential to be a tremendous source of information, healing, and an effective tool for self-regulation and intimacy.